Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another musical moment in the life of the old-time rock and roller. Today we will be focusing a few minutes on a story from the golden age of rock and roll. Are you ready? Okay, let's get started. In 1969, a young entrepreneur from Boston, Massachusetts had a concept to create an 11-piece rock band using the Boston Pops with Arthur Fiedler and create a worldwide tour. It was a marvelous idea. I was in EU Wurlitzer's, the best music store in Boston, looking at the job boards, and I saw auditions for the Boston Rock Symphony. So I went and auditioned, and I got one of the two guitar chairs. A guy named Melvin Wachs, a Berkley student, got the other one. Mel was from Long Island. So we began rehearsing at a studio on Lansdowne Street, just above Fenway Park. It was really cool. James Montgomery, the blues harmonica player, was also selected to be in the orchestra. Now, James couldn't read a lick of music, but the band leader knew that if he pointed to him to play a solo, James could play a solo. So that secured his position in the symphony. Well, we rehearsed for months, and finally in April, our debut job came at Symphony Hall. After I got set up and went back to put my tuxedo on, my van broke down. So I ended up hitchhiking to Symphony Hall with my guitar and a tuxedo on. Somebody drove me right to the front door. They were very nice. Nobody ever thought that the rock band needed to rehearse with the symphony, because the symphony players were all pros. They read music. There was no problem, and they could play anything. The problem came when the rock band showed up with 100-watt Marshalls behind the celloists and the violinists and all of the strings and the woodwinds. And these Marshall amplifiers, they were loud. I mean, they were really loud. We started the opening number. Symphony Hall was packed. I felt like Benny Goodman playing at Carnegie Hall. I said, oh, this is a monstrous achievement. And I'm only 19 years old, wearing a nice tuxedo and everything. So the orchestra comes in, and you can feel everybody's in the mood. And then they hit the cue for the rock band to come in. And it was like an explosion. It was like, I mean, we were so damn loud. You could see the hats and the toupees on the symphony players jumping off their heads. They didn't know what to do. So finally somebody ran and came and said, stop, you've got to stop. So the symphony stopped playing right away because they couldn't take it. So right then I said, okay, we're off script. Blues jam in G, shuffle, hit it. 1, 2, 3. And we jumped into a blistering shuffle and got about 30 seconds into it when somebody finally found the power, the electric box, and they pulled it. And you could hear the amps going until the last notes faded, died, and broke. And that 11-piece rock band went up in smoke. Well, the tour was canceled, and we were basically disgraced. We left, and we didn't know what to do. Well, during the course of rehearsing, one afternoon I went over to Melvin's house, his apartment, and he was doing his homework. He was sight reading Mozart as part of one of his classes. And I got into his pad and I heard him playing this, and I said, holy smokes, this guy's gonna kill me. I gotta get out of here. And Mel said, no, don't go. I'm just finishing up. I said, okay, what do you want to do? He said, let's jam some Hendrix. I said, okay. So we started jamming, and I sounded like Hendrix, and he sounded like Mozart. And a light went off in my head, and I said, wow, this guy's all head and no soul. And I'm all soul and feeling, but don't have the foggiest idea of what I'm doing. So at that moment, I decided I was going to play as long as I could, get as good as I could, and then finally, 6 years later, I went to Dick Grove's Conservatory of Music in Studio City, California. And he had Howard Roberts and Jimmy Stewart teaching there. And I ended up at the first Guitar Institute of Technology, GIT, classes with Howard Roberts. But it just goes to show that you need to develop what's in your heart and your mind before you mess it up with a bunch of intellect. At least that's what worked for me. The end of the story was Melvin and I decided we needed a break. So we heard Jimi Hendrix had a pad in Morocco, and we thought we had Jeff Beck's address in England. So we jumped on a TWA flight and went to England to cool our jets after the symphony. It was an incredible experience. We struck out on the world tour, but it was my first big opportunity, and I wasn't going to blow the next one. So that's today's musical moment, my friends. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a cute story. So I will see you down the story highway, my friend, on the next musical moment with the old-time rock and roller. Please like and subscribe if you had a good time, and I look forward to seeing you down the story highway. So long, my friends.